Right now, your phone is in your pocket or sitting next to you, and the odds are extremely high that you're going to check it within the next 5 minutes, maybe sooner. You probably already know you do this. You know it's excessive. You know you should stop. But the real answer is far stranger than mere habit. Your phone isn't addicting you. Your brain is doing something far more ancient and far more powerful. And once you understand what it is, you won't blame the phone. You'll blame yourself, your ancestors, and the engineers who weaponized something older than writing itself. Your brain has never evolved to resist what it's facing right now, not because your brain is weak, but because nothing like your phone has ever existed in human history. Let's rewind. 50,000 years ago, your ancestors lived by a simple rule. Pay attention to new information, and you survive. Miss new information, and you die. A rustling in the grass could be food, or a predator. A new face at the edge of camp could be a stranger with knowledge, resources, or threat. Your brain developed what neuroscientists call the orienting response. It's a reflex older than language. When something new appears in your peripheral vision, your attention snaps to it instantly. You don't decide to look. You just look. Psychologist Eugene Sokolov discovered this in the 1960s when he measured how your brain responds to novel stimuli. Even when you're deeply focused, a single unexpected sound or flash will hijack your attention. This isn't weakness, it's biology. Now, fast forward to today. Your phone has learned how your brain works. It learned it by studying how your ancestors survived. Every notification is a new rustle in the grass. Every red badge number is a predator at the edge of camp. Every vibration is a stranger with unknown intentions. Your phone isn't trying to be evil. It's trying to make itself useful. But in doing so, it's hacked directly into a survival system that's been refined by millions of years of evolution. You don't resist your phone because you're addicted to your phone. You resist it because you're addicted to information. And humans have always been addicted to information. Here's where it gets deeper. A notification arrives. You see it. Your brain detects novelty. The dopamine system activates. But, and this is crucial, dopamine doesn't make you feel good. That's the lie we've been told. Dopamine makes you want. It creates desire. It's the neurotransmitter of anticipation. When you see that red notification badge, dopamine is already flooding your system before you even open it. And here's the trap. Your brain doesn't know what the message says. It doesn't matter. The uncertainty itself triggers the dopamine. You might have a like from a stranger. You might have a message from someone you love. You might have a notification telling you that you want a free item, or you might have nothing at all. The uncertainty is what your brain craves, and your phone designers knew this. In 2015, a former Google executive named Tristan Harris began warning about what he called the attention economy. He didn't invent the problem, but he documented it. Your phone was designed with a specific goal. Every color choice, every haptic vibration, every sound was engineered to make you reach for your device. The psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered in the 1950s that the most addictive behavior pattern is the variable ratio schedule. Give someone a reward, but make them uncertain about when the next one arrives. A slot machine isn't addictive because it's fun. It's addictive because you don't know when you'll win. Your phone works the same way. Sometimes you check it and find something amazing. Sometimes you find nothing. The unpredictability is the poison. Think about how you actually use your phone. You probably check it without conscious awareness. You reach for it while you're talking, while you're eating, while you're supposed to be sleeping. But here's what's strange. You don't feel addicted. You feel in control. You tell yourself you can stop anytime, and you can, for a few hours, maybe a day. But then the orienting response reactivates. A notification arrives. Dopamine surges, and you reach for the device again. This isn't weakness. This isn't you failing at willpower. Your brain is literally doing what it evolved to do. Your phone is just a more effective predator than any actual predator your ancestors ever faced. The neuroscientist Adam Alter studied this exact phenomenon. He found that people who use phones compulsively don't have a dopamine deficiency. Their dopamine systems are working perfectly. In fact, they're working too well. The phone has calibrated itself to trigger dopamine at exactly the moment you're most vulnerable. When you're bored, when you're lonely, when you're uncertain, when you're waiting for a response. Your phone knows these moments because billions of hours of user data have been fed into algorithms designed to predict them. This isn't a bug, it's the product. Here's something darker. You think you're addicted to social media, or texting, or games. You're not. You're addicted to the possibility of connection. You're addicted to the hope that someone, somewhere, thinks about you right now. That's not a flaw in your character. That's a core human need. Your ancestors survived because they stayed connected to their tribe. Rejection from the group meant death. Inclusion meant survival. Your brain still responds to notifications the same way it responds to seeing another person appear on the horizon. That person might save your life, or end it. You need to know who it is. So you look. Now, some researchers argue that this isn't addiction at all. It's just human behavior. A Stanford researcher named B.J. Fogg published research on habit formation, showing that behaviors become automatic when they're triggered consistently by your environment. Your phone is a trigger. Your hand reaching for it is the behavior. The notification hitting your screen is the reinforcement. Over time, this pattern becomes automatic. Your phone doesn't make you addicted because you lack self-control. It makes you addicted because self-control is irrelevant once a behavior becomes automatic. You're not thinking anymore. You're just responding. But here's the thing. You're not a victim, and your phone isn't a villain. Both of those ideas are comforting lies. The truth is harder. You want your phone to be addictive. Because addiction means you're not responsible, but you are. The engineers who designed these systems knew exactly what they were doing. They studied the same dopamine research you're hearing about right now. They tested different notification sounds to see which ones would make you look faster. They used every principle of behavioral psychology to turn your phone into a more effective predator than evolution ever designed. And you? You let them. You bought the device. You signed the terms of service. You handed over your attention, your location, your relationships, your thoughts, so that you could see pictures of people you've never met. So what's actually happening? Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's functioning exactly as it always has. The problem isn't your brain. It's the mismatch. Your brain evolved in a world where novelty was rare and meaningful. Now you live in a world where novelty is infinite and mostly meaningless. Your brain evolved in a world where your tribe was 50 people. Now you live in a world where a stranger in another country can trigger your dopamine system by double-tapping a photo. Your brain evolved in a world where you couldn't check your status until you walked to the main square and spent time with others. Now you can check your status from your pocket while you're ignoring the people sitting across from you. The scary part? Your phone is learning. Every time you check it, the algorithm learns a tiny bit more about what triggers you. Every time you ignore a notification, the algorithm learns that this particular trigger is too weak, so it gets stronger. Your phone is becoming an increasingly refined predator, and you're becoming increasingly refined prey. Except you're both parts of the same organism, you and your phone. That's the real trap. You can't blame your brain. You can't blame willpower. Those frameworks don't work because they ignore what's actually happening. You can't delete your phone because you need it. It's genuine. You have real friends on that device, real work, real connections. The problem isn't the phone. The problem is the design. The problem is that a handful of companies have decided that your attention is valuable enough to monetize, and they've spent billions of dollars figuring out how to capture it. So here's the question. Now that you know exactly why you can't stop checking your phone, what are you going to do? Are you going to feel grateful that someone finally explained your behavior? Are you going to tell yourself that you'll change, that you'll be more mindful, that tomorrow will be different? Or are you going to understand something deeper? Your brain isn't broken. Your phone is working exactly as designed. And the moment you stop blaming addiction, you start to see the real problem. It's not that you can't control yourself. It's that your environment is specifically engineered to make control impossible. Your ancient, orienting response never asked for your permission. It just activated, just like it did for your ancestors, just like it will continue to do, because your brain hasn't changed in 50,000 years. But your world has, and your phone is betting that you'll never catch up.